first element of flowing pressure that we're going to cover is the glide. The glide is the movement of my body across my opponent's body. In this case, the hip glide. We're going to use that movement to pin our opponent while we take a new position. We're going to start on cross sides. Troy will roll into me to escape. I'll resist that by pressuring into him, check his hip, and then glide over. Notice that I don't separate from Troy. I maintain contact, and that's important. That contact is what's going to help you keep him down. You guys know when we wrestle in the gym, there's a lot of options, right? One guy wrestles one way, one guy does a submission another way, and it all sort of blends together. It fits sort of what the body's doing, how you're wrestling, what kind of speed you have, what kind of strength you have, what kind of endurance you have. All those things sort of pile in. What we're going to go over today is a way of controlling your opponent, creating pressure against your opponent through movement. We call it flowing pressure. I do this a lot because when I wrestle a lot of the guys in the gym here, I give up weight. And one of the problems I run into is I lock myself to my opponent to hold them down, and they roll me over. They take advantage of that position. So what I'm going to go over tonight is the idea of having your pressure, creating a lot of pressure, a lot of defense out of your opponent by moving around, by staying attached when you need to, but not being so attached that they can roll you over. I'm going to give you a quick demonstration. Troy's on the bottom. Mike's gained top position. Mike's smart about grabbing on. He's trying to stay positioned. He's trying to keep his base. He's trying to spread out. But Troy is larger than Mike by a little bit. And because of that, Troy's able to roll Mike. And with Mike's attachment to Troy, it actually is easier for Troy to do this. So go ahead, Troy. What we don't want is to be Mike. We don't want to have that roll happen to us. We want to be on top position and take advantage of it, but we don't want to get rolled because of it. So what we're going to play with tonight is a couple different ways of adjusting for this. All right, so the idea is I'm going to take cross sides position. And just like with Mike, if I really clamp onto Troy and he's able to roll me, that's a problem. Another thing that Troy can do because of his strength and size is really roll into me. He can force his position at me. When he does that, I'm susceptible to him taking my leg, him getting to his knees, a collection of things. What I don't want is for him to roll over and mash me to the ground and take top position. So what we're going to do in that instance is rather than fight that, we're going to transition to the other side. All right? We're going to move across his body. Now you watch what I do. This is one way of doing this. There's a bunch we're going to go over, but the idea is I've got my cross sides position as he moves in at me. Rather than really forcing him back or trying to force him back, I'm going to allow him to turn in. I'm going to check this hip, and I'm going to switch hip over. And it gives me that back position, right? So the main thing I've done is gotten away from his hands and his legs. I've gotten to a position that's safe. I'll do it one more time, and then we're going to play with it like a drill. So I've got cross sides position. He pops over. All I'm going to do is check his hip and come over. If he were to roll into me at this point, I would do the same thing. Hit the hip and come over, right? Now I'm switching my legs. What I don't want you to do in this drill is as he comes at me to step over him. You can see where that leaves my leg, right? An opportunity for him to grab with his leg or grab with his arms. What I want to do is switch my hips. I'll do it one more time, and then I'm going to ask you guys to grab partners. So we're here. He turns into me. I check. I come over. I've got the backside, right? I can settle him down, or what we're going to do for a drill, he's going to continue to turn into me. He's going to turn in, check, come over, check, come over, check, come over. Okay? And we'll play with that. You're just going to do just like this. You're going to lift your hip up, and you're going to bring this knee over his body.
Oh, okay.
There it is. That's it. That's it. Do that again. That was exactly right. Do that again. Inside knee over. There it is. Do it again. Do it again.
Do you ever like hooking arms as you're coming over?
Every time. I mean, that's where that idea of a tether comes in. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm grab and play as I go through.
Like you're here, so you're gonna come through there.
Yeah, and in fact, like if there's a collection of things that he might do with this arm. He may drive it underneath me, which is probably the smartest thing for him to do. But as he drives over, go ahead and turn into me.
Over in you?
Just turns me, yeah. So this is, I mean, this is a great escape. Keep coming over, keep coming over. You can get to your knees, you can drive me back, all kinds of things, right? So as he's trying to do that, as he drives into me, go a little harder. Here we go. I'm going to come over, and there's an arm here if I want it. I can take it immediately. I can do a choke as he drives into me. Again, I want to resist it. So my shoulder's in play. I'm shouldering into him. I hit over top, and I can take the arm, open it up. I can use it to lay me back down. I can throw it out and do head and arm, whatever you're comfortable with, but yes. So we're not just jumping over. We're not looking for that big gap. That gap's where they're going to turn underneath and maybe grab us with their legs, grab guard, whatever. What we want is to just slide over top. We want to glide hip to hip over top of them.
My question was, you were talking about putting the hand on the hip. Is the hip sufficient, or is it, do you sometimes you need to come down and help guard that, keep that knee pushed down?
That's a fantastic question. In reality, what I wanted you to do with that hand was to check the knee down. I want you to pop that knee down, and as far as leverage go, if I have my hand high on your hip, it's easier for to lift that leg. If I put my hand on your knee, it's harder for you to lift that leg. So what I'm looking to do is just check that knee as I put my hip on your hip and slide over. So that pressure, your body pressure, is going to help keep him down while you slide over. But that initial hit or check is important to keep that leg down. You don't want to jump into a guard. You want to get past that. So that's of major importance.